Welcome back. We're at episode 49. In the previous episode, I had mentioned that I would tell you about an actual ghostly encounter that I had. Unlike my comical childhood encounters that had a clear explanation, this one could not be explained away. At the time, I had moved to Pune with my family. I was in my 40s at this time, a married woman with two children. So, this was the time before OTT. Netflix and Amazon Prime had not yet made their presence felt. I think it was around 2016. My husband, Vicky, was in the habit of downloading random movies and keeping them on an external drive. He would sit with his laptop almost every night and just watch. He was very fond of Tamil movies and watched even without subtitles and without actually understanding the dialogues. His favorite genres were action and thriller or suspense. And other than Tamil movies, he also watched Telugu movies, Malayalam movies, and even Hollywood movies. One of the reasons for conflict between us was his daily habit of staying up late. He would either scroll channels or keep watching football or watch something on his laptop, usually until 2 a.m. or so. This would not only disturb me but would also result in him not waking up on time when we had to send the kids to school. At first, I thought that this was because he was a journalist and worked till late. But even after switching professions, he kept this up. Back to the story. It was summer vacation and the kids were away visiting my parents in Bombay. Vicky had a flight for work the next day and was not required to wake up early. So when we were on the bed this particular night, getting ready to sleep, he asked if I would like to watch a movie with him on the laptop. I agreed because there would be no morning rush. We at the time had no reviews to refer to. We just looked at the file names on his external hard drive and we randomly chose what to watch based on how interesting the title of the movie sounded. So quite often when Vicky watched movies alone, he would use earphones. But this time, since we were watching the movie together, we attached speakers to the laptop in order to hear the dialogues more clearly. There were no subtitles. This little detail becomes relevant later. We decided to watch a movie called The Other Side of the Door. At the time, we did not know that it was a horror/supernatural movie. Vicky does not like the horror or supernatural genre at all. I quite enjoy it though. So we started watching. This is a Hollywood movie about an American expat family that is living in Bombay. At some point in the movie, Aghori sadhus chant some verses in Sanskrit. This happens a few times as the movie progresses. I quite enjoyed this movie and was very happy that we had watched it. The next day, Vicky took his flight, and I would be in the house by myself for the next few days. I had my dog Jippy for company though. After having dinner that night, I decided to sit in the living room for some more time watching TV. Usually, Jippy would sit a couple of feet away on the floor or on the blanket. He would not join us on the couch when we called. Strangely, if no one was at home, he would happily leap on the couch or chairs. But the moment we got home, he would be very reluctant to join us on the couch. Similarly, if we invited Jippy to join us on the bed, he would again be very reluctant. But after we fell asleep, he would leap up and sleep on our feet. Very rarely would he climb on the bed when we prompted him. And if he did, he would make it a point to jump down after only a few minutes. So this is the night after we had watched that movie. I'm alone in the house with just my dog for company. Suddenly, Jippy starts looking at the corner of the room and growling menacingly. This is the entryway corner on the same wall as the TV, so diagonally in front of me. Jippy's eyes are fixed at a level that suggests that he is looking at someone who is standing there in the corner, but there's nobody. Just the way we would look at the face or eyes of someone who's standing, that's the way he was looking. Jippy's fur stood on end, and his entire posture was a threatening one. He kept up his low growl. This sent chills down my spine. I was alone at home, and I was losing it. I called Jippy to come to me, but he kept his gaze fixed at the corner and growled. This went on for several minutes. I decided to get into bed and went to the bedroom. I got into bed and called Jippy to come join me. Jippy sat next to the bed, but he did not come on the bed. And this time, he growled at a corner of the bedroom that faced the bed. He kept staring at about the same height where a standing person's face would be. It completely looked like he was looking at someone who was there. By this time, I was so completely scared. I kept calling Jippy to come on the bed. Jippy wouldn't come. So I scooped him up and hugged him, and I laid down with him. I wrapped the blanket around us. But Jippy would have none of it. He struggled away even as I tried to hold him. He hopped off the bed and kept growling at that corner. I stayed under the blanket for a bit, but finally I needed to get up and use the bathroom, brush my teeth, and change into my nightwear. So I got up and opened my closet. The uppermost section of the closet was where we kept the suitcases, but today it was empty because Vicky had just taken the suitcase from there in the morning. Next thing you know, Jippy shifted his gaze to this loft section in the closet and started growling at it. I quickly shut the door to the closet and went away from it. I could just visualize someone sitting right up there in the closet and looking down at us. It was super creepy. I was terrified out of my wits. The next morning, when I tried to think about it, I could only come up with one explanation for the events of the night. The previous night, when we had played the movie, the Aghori sadhus kept chanting some Sanskrit shlokas. I don't know what the meaning of the shlokas was, but in the movie, they invoked the souls of the dead people to come to them using those shlokas. So, was it at all possible that the sound of the chanting attracted an entity to my house? That was the only explanation I could think of. That in the movie they had used some authentic shlokas which the Aghori sadhus actually used, and that was heard by some spirit. Would this have happened if we had used earphones? I actually don't know. All I know is that the chanting was on the speaker, and the next night I seemed to have an entity in my house. Not only was it in my house, it followed me around from room to room. That was the creepiest night of my life. Later, when discussing this incident with a friend, he scoffed at me saying he had watched the movie at the theatre and did not experience any supernatural entities. To that I replied, well, were there any dogs present there or other animals who might perceive such entities? For all you know, there might have been a few of these spirits inside the movie theatre and you wouldn't even know. This shut my friend up and he started looking thoughtful. My dog has never behaved like that, ever, before or after that night. In the morning, when I opened the closet, Jippy did look up at the loft area and barked again. But that was it. Nothing after that. But every now and then, he stares into a passageway or room, and his gaze seems to follow movement. When I look at the spot where he was looking, there's nothing. But it does freak me out. But nothing compared to the magnitude of that one night when I was alone at home. That is a night I will not forget. Even now, just narrating this is giving me the creeps. I don't even know why I'm doing this at night. That's all for now. I'll be back soon. Till then, stay healthy, stay happy. Bye.